Rocket League is really just one of those games that at the surface seems very simple. And though the objective is pretty simple, you're just scoring more goals than your opponent basically, what it takes to actually complete that objective consistently and at the highest level, well, that's not simple at all. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a few random things that people really don't talk about very often. But these are the things that if you can muster enough focus during a game to think about what you're doing, they could be the difference between you winning and losing. Now, some of this is more mechanic oriented and some of it is more just about overall strategy. But I do hope that you guys find this helpful. And yeah, let's just jump right in. So the first thing on my list is something that I go over with people in my coaching sessions that I do basically every time. And it is air roll shots. Now, this is so important. And I'm not always sure if everybody agrees with me when I tell them about it, but this is super important. And if you feel like you're not good enough to start working on a mechanic like this, you're probably wrong, because I was complete garbage at Rocket League when I started making videos, and those videos were basically telling people how to get better at Rocket League. Pretty funny. And this was something that I started working on, and slowly I got better at it, and it really just changed my whole game. So just to save you from having to watch that first video that I made, which is pretty cringy, I'll just explain it briefly. An air roll shot is basically a shot where you rotate or you spin or move your car in some form to hit the ball in a specific way. Now, when you don't have your dodge available, basically, you're doing a higher aerial, then you'll basically spin your car without using that dodge because it's not available. And this is really important. Now, to understand, how exactly you should rotate your car in certain situations, it really comes from experience and feel, and also from watching higher level players to see what they're doing and sort of copy what they're doing, except for Gimmick, because all he does is air roll. But for me, the interesting part came when I started using this on those little power shots where you have your dodge available and you just do a quick fast aerial and a dodge into the ball. Now, I have a training pack that you can use that's in the description below, and this will really help you get an understanding of it. But basically, it's a way of adding power and precision, and sometimes it's a way of actually making shots that would otherwise be impossible to make. This actually happens a lot more than you think. You'll be coming at the ball and you just won't have that angle to make it if you just jump back straight and dodge into it. And so you can actually sort of wrap your car around it and hit it into the goal. But in my opinion, even more important than the fact that if you can master this, you'll be able to hit shots faster and more accurate, and you'll be able to beat the other player to the ball often, and also just make shots that would otherwise be impossible. Skills like this just really up your game altogether. And working on things like this and really mastering them just makes you better in every way. And that's always been my favorite part of improving at Rocket League, and it's really my favorite way to improve. Whether it's working on dumb things like trying to air dribble for a really long time, or mastering flip resets or power shots. This is, in my opinion, the best way for lower players to rank up. Focus on specific mechanics and focus on your speed. It's okay if it turns you into a ball chaser. It's okay if it causes you to make stupid decisions sometimes in game. That's just part of it. But focusing on mechanics and just really focusing on mastering things is such a great way to get better at Rocket League. All right, this one's pretty random, but I feel like it speaks to something that we all do. In Rocket League, we often get in a rut of playing one way or executing our gameplay in one way, and we often end up doing the same things, thus really making us predictable. So I actually hadn't heard of the term volley outside of volleyball, and people who use it to mean, a volley where the ball keeps going back and forth. I hadn't heard this other use of it until I was a freshman in college, and I was playing indoor soccer, and the ball came down pretty fast at half court, like it had shot up and it came straight down, and I just kicked it out of the air without it hitting the ground at all, and it flew directly into the net from half court. It was pretty cool, and I'm not very athletic, so people were definitely surprised. I don't, still understand how it happened. Now in Rocket League, players often find themselves waiting on the ball to come down, usually for a power shot, and then often, two players will challenge because they both kind of waited for it to hit the ground. But often in Rocket League, a quick volley shot, and a volley is basically where you don't let it hit the ground, you hit it out of the air as it's coming down. Anyways, a quick shot like that, even from far out, can basically have as much power as a power shot. But it's way more unexpected, and honestly, it's easier to hit with accuracy, in my opinion. And sometimes a side flip shot can be a great way to hit a high, powerful volley when you're the one dribbling, or even if it's just coming down. But regardless, try this sometime. If the ball's coming down at midfield, or if you pop the ball up, just go up and hit it. Especially if it's one of those shots where you feel like you and your opponent are both kind of waiting for it to come down. Just do a fast aerial, jump up and hit it before it comes down. You'll beat him to the ball, you'll put a lot of power on it. It's easier to hit, in my opinion, and you might be able to score a goal from it. And I can say as a defender that I hate when people do this. They always come in way faster than you think. People will go up for a volley as the ball's coming down and just like smoke it into the top corner, and you have no idea that it's coming. So the fact that I don't like it as a defender, in my opinion, tells me that it's a good thing and it's something we should all be working on. All right, this last one falls a bit more under the category of, I guess, strategy and really just game sense. So in ones, this manifests itself as a fake challenge. So basically you pretend you're going to challenge and you force your opponent to hit the ball, that is if they fall for it, and because they were focusing on just winning the challenge that they thought you were, going to have with them, they hit kind of a bad shot or just a weak shot, and now you're in position to just go grab the ball, and then you get possession. Now in 2s and 3s, it's basically the same concept, and I found myself, as the player who's further up, going in and basically just pretending to challenge, even though I may not have any boost or it's clear I'm going to lose the challenge. I'll just sort of run in and pretend like I'm going for the ball, forcing them to hit a weaker shot instead of letting them dribble or set up a play. And in that case, I force the shot and the ball just goes to my teammate with kind of a weak shot, and then we gain possession. It's actually pretty awesome. And a good concept that I got from Virge. Virge is a former coach for an RLCS team that is no longer an RLCS team, and he's now actually a coach on GamersRdy. I'll put a link to his profile in the description below. But he basically told me that the person who is up front, whether it's in 2s, but really in 3s, has to always be forcing the play, forcing the other team to push forwards. You can't just sit back and let teams set up plays, and you don't want to give them all that time and space. And this is really good because it forces you to keep your momentum going, and it just always keeps the plays moving. Now, this isn't something you need to do all the time. Sometimes you can even do a fake challenge if you're low on boost, even in 2s and 3s. But more often than not, it's good to just jump in there with more intention of, say, going and grabbing their boost or rotating, but you just kind of make it look like you're going for the ball. I find that I do that quite a bit, and it's really, really helpful. All right, guys, I hope that you found this video helpful. If you're interested in learning more stuff like this, or you're wanting to rank up fast, check out GamersRdy. So GamersRdy is basically a coaching platform that I'm a part of, and it's basically for people who want to improve fast. If anything, you can just join the Discord community and see what you think of it, or go and just read some of the reviews that are on there and see what people are saying. So I've got links for all that stuff in the description below if you want to check it out. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace out.